Here is the 2025 BMW X4 M40i in Brooklyn Gray Metallic over Takara Red Sensatech interior. This year we do not receive the LCI or updates like you would get in the X3. So we're gonna have an actual M competition this year, whereas the X3 hasn't announced that they're going to have it. I'm going to go over whether this is the better option or should you wait and get the X3. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna also touch bases on some pros and cons and the comparable rivals. In the front is gonna get standard LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the gloss black kidney grille with the M badging. The lower, highlighted with the gloss black, 7.2 inches of clearance, front parking sensors, but they do not give you a standard 360-degree reverse camera, which has got to be a con to me. But the pro is what's housed underneath this hood, because this is a 3.0 liter BMW straight six, producing 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, reaching 60. This is the fastest in its class, 4.4 seconds. Weight distribution, near 50-50. If you want it to be as airtight, to take the bends, take it on the track, go up to the M competition, and you're gonna get a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, 0 to 60 in the 3-second margin. We got upgraded 20-inch wheels. Gloss black, it's a staggered wheel setup with the blue brake calipers. Clamping behind it is 4 pistons in the front, a single floating caliper in the rear. So even though this is not necessarily the full M, you're still getting a massive amount of performance, and you're gonna still achieve 22 mpgs for the city, 26 mpgs for the highway. When you're talking about competition like Mercedes, Genesis, Audi, this has more horsepower than everybody in class except for Mercedes. For some odd reason, they go crazy. Torque is gonna be the same though, and this is going to beat it on a straight line and in a bend road, because this is the best in class, dynamically speaking, for the weight distribution. M-spec side view mirrors with the integrated LED turn signals, gloss black surrounding the window trim, and because this is the X4, this is going to have that coupe style. And even in the drive, it's going to be a little bit more rigid because it's BMW, and the way it sits, it's going to feel like a car lifted up. But going back to the question, would I option the new X3 or stick with the X4 M40i? I'm going to be getting an M competition, which is why I would choose this. The reason why I would choose the X3 is because it's a little bit longer and it's a square box, so it makes it a little bit more desirable for me because I have tall people in my family, and you know what? I'm 6'3" myself. But whether you choose the X3 or the X4, both are going to be fun to drive, especially when you're competing against competition. Standard LED taillights that go into the BMW badging. The lower sits up a little bit with the dual exhaust outlets and the diffuser. Reverse parking sensors with the reverse camera. Power trunk going into 18.5 cubic feet. It's gonna sit up a little bit because of the coupe design. You get a storage pocket here with a neck. 12-volt charger, bag holders underneath the floor. It's going to receive some storage, and it opens up to a deep storage pocket. Unfortunately, you do have to go inside to the back door to max the cargo at the 50.5 cubic feet, and these seats will fold down at a 40-20-40 split or a 60-40 split to increase the cargo capacity to the M40i. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. 12-way power seat adjustment for the driver and passenger. Heated front seats is going to be standard. Manual cushion extensions. This is the Takara Red with the Sensatech interior. Memory for the driver. The X4, it's a coupe style, but I have plenty of headroom in the front. Leg space, not going to be an issue as well. It is a driver-focused setup, but this is pretty much through all BMWs. Carbon fiber interior, this is an upgrade. Sensatech dashboard, heads-up display, that's an upgrade. Auto-dimming rear view mirror, LED interior lighting with a large panel that pretty much goes all the way to the back. 12.3 information display with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Click into the app so you can see everything we have. Put it into reverse and we get a reverse camera that is standard. For front and rear parking sensors, the trajectory will expand out. Click into here and you can just see the parking sensors, and you still have physical knobs, and you could set these just by touching them of your AM, FM, or Sirius XM. M-badging, that opens up into a wireless charging pad, USB port 12 volt, the key fob for the X4 M40i, and the digital key fob. Gloss black is going to surround the center. Driving mode select, which you can click onto the fly, so it makes it a little bit easier for you. You can also configure it to make it a little bit more sport derived for you. That's going to be sporty. That opens up into a into a medium-sized storage pocket with a USB port. Leather wrapped steering wheel, multi-function. It's heated with the M-badging and the cross stitch. Paddle shifts, and a 12.3 gauge cluster that can go through an array of information for the driver when you click onto the BC. You can also change the layout by changing the driving modes, which when you go to Eco Pro, this will help coach you to get better MPGs. Harman Kardon sound system, the carbon fiber comes into play with the ambient lighting, one touch up and down for the windows. It's going to be more sporty with a long storage pocket, a beverage holder carved out, and a storage pocket for the driver. For the back seats, even though it's a coupe, I can still fit. I'm at 6'3". My dimensions, leg space is not going to be an issue. Storage net behind both of the front seats, third climate control, USB ports, a storage tray right here with air vents, cup holders with an armrest. Lift that up for a minute. And the X badging with the ambient lighting, carbon fiber, more sporty, about the same size storage pocket sliding into the center. This is where it becomes a little bit more tough. I'm going to be sharing some feet space. If the seat is back, I'm going to be sharing quite a bit of leg and butt space, even shoulder space. It's going to be tight. Headroom, the same thing. I have to sit back, in which it's going to be really hard for somebody at my dimensions. 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, the fastest 0 to 60, the most horsepower in class, except for Mercedes. Listen to that exhaust. A near 50-50 weight distribution, and the M competition actually unlocks that, making it the best dynamic SUV out. You're gonna hear some road noise filter in. That's to be expected with these upgraded wheels. The steering is going to be a little bit more light, but I do like the response to it because, oh man, that exhaust. It just makes it a little bit easier, especially for a day in and day out use. And if you wanted to take it on the track, I would probably go more for the M competition, but you could still do that with this. Check this thing out. It's a symphony to my ear, and that's what's out of this straight six. Crazy performance, twin scroll turbocharge. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is we're still capturing an actual M competition this year. The X3 is not, they haven't announced it if they're going to or not. More than likely it's not going to happen, and then they'll probably come out with it in the next year or so because they are trying to push buyers into the X5. And when you go into the X3, you're getting a refresh. Here, it's more or less a carryover. You're getting some more updates in the interior in the sense of standard features. Another pro is how engaged you feel when it goes from the X3 to the X4. Because the X4 kind of sits downwards, even though you still have 7.4 inches of clearance, and the windows are pretty large for the most part, just the way the actual sit is for the driver. You feel kind of like you're in a picked up car. And with this type of performance, you can actually take bends, you can take corners. Now it will be a little bit more firm than the standard X4, and the seats are not going to be as comfortable as the base X4. But when you go into the M competition, then it's going to be a lot more rigid, and the seats are going to be a little bit more firm as well. Now for me, I would probably choose the X3 over this, only because it's a complete refresh from the exterior. It's a little bit longer. It's a box SUV, so it fits my needs a little bit more so because I have tall family members, and when they sit into the back, as you saw in the interior, it's tough. And if I'm considering competition, I would look at Mercedes because it is crazy, but then when I'm thinking about pricing, it's also going to be a little bit more expensive than this, and yet it's slower. So you're getting a little bit more horsepower, but you're getting the same torque. Plus, it's a smaller engine. This inline six is amazing. And here's where you're gonna have fun with the M40i. Open it up, show some of the cornering. You could take these curves really tight, crisp. It's just planted. It's like it wants more. It wants me to feed that inline six. Look at that thing. Man. And it stays at a high rev because it's ready for you to be more engaged, which I like that in Sport Plus. The brakes are awesome. And check out the exit. It's truly a fun vehicle overall. And in the comments, I typically get things like, why would you pick the M40i so much? Like I was saying on the exterior, it's a fun vehicle. Pricing isn't that bad for what you're getting out of this straight six twin scroll turbo. And for an everyday drive, I could still take bends in the road, which is kind of exciting, especially if you're all coffeeed up like me most of the time. You're gonna have a thrill. But like I was saying on the exterior, I would still go to the X3 unless I'm going to get the M competition, and then that's truly a gem for the X4. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 BMW X4 M40i for our car review.